this year is dragon year. Like a lot of people want to have a dragon baby because dragons mean like royalty, like more powerful and good luck.
And so this year when I go back to America, I'm planning to have a Chinese New Year party with my nieces and my nephews and just kind of let them experience some of the different things that happen here in Taiwan.
Oh, Brian, you cannot ask a lady what's her zodiac because, like it's easy to know her age.
Hello, and welcome to Connected. I'm Brian Cragen, sitting in for Divya Gopalan. Fireworks, dancing dragons, and red envelopes. These are some of the things you may think of when you hear the term Lunar New Year. The Lunar New Year, or Spring Festival, is one of the most celebrated holidays in the world. And today, we're going to take a look at its various aspects, and with the help of our guests, learn more about its associated celebrations. We're joined by Yuki Hsu, an event host and founder of TEDxNeihu in Taipei, and Dooley Candler, a performer and founder of Exclusive Entertainment in Kaohsiung. Thank you both for joining us. So to start out, I'd like to ask you, Yuki, what is the Lunar New Year and why do we celebrate it?
Actually, Lunar New Year is similar in significance to Christmas in Western countries. It's a traditional holiday celebrated in many Asian countries. And its timing is determined by the lunar calendar, which is focused on the phases of the moon. Every 12 months, a new year begins, and we celebrate Lunar New Year to celebrate the start of New Year.
Excellent, great. And Dooley, you, like me, are from the United States, and I hadn't really experienced much with Lunar New Year before coming. I wanted to have you tell me what you expected Lunar New Year celebrations to be like, and then how they ended up being different from what you had expected.
Coming from the United States, I generally thought of the New Year holiday as something similar to like our New Year holiday that would happen traditionally on the December 31st and January 1st, just kind of a one-day holiday with lots of activities and events and parties and people in the street and music and festivities and things like that. But it's very different given that when you come here, you find that New Year journey lasts over a period of several days. And it's generally more of like a family type of gathering thing. It doesn't feel like it has the same energy as Christmas, but it has its own special and unique energy that is really something that I've grown to enjoy over the years.
Yeah, I definitely originally thought it was going to be a lot more like the New Year's holidays that we have in the States, but I was also very quickly surprised when I ended up eating 7-Eleven for 7 days because everything around me was closed down.
Right. I think that was one of the things. Actually, my second year here in Taiwan, my mother and my sister came to visit me here over Chinese New Year. And I was thinking things that would be pretty much the same as before. The restaurants would be open. I'd let them try some of my favorite local delicacies, things that happen. And when they got here, everything was pretty much closed. So we ended up eating McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and 7-Eleven for for the vast majority of the time that they were here. It was very different.
Now, like we just said, people from the United States and probably most of the Western world may know their Chinese zodiac animal and know a little bit about Lunar New Year's. If you're like me, you may have learned your zodiac animal from a placemat in a Chinese restaurant in your home country. But do you know the story behind those animals or the order of the 12-year cycle that they make up? To cover as much information as we can in an entertaining and time-efficient way, we give you Anders Saucy's wrap on the story of the Chinese zodiac.
Do you know the story behind the Chinese zodiacs?
But people celebrate in so many places: China, Taiwan, Korea, Vietnam. There's no way there's only one single take on the story.
How about you share your take in a song?
Let's start with the premise. Jade Emperor ruled the heavens. If memory serves correct, he wanted to measure time by 12-year increments. He called for a race of the animals in China. The placements would make up the cycle's lineup. 屁股后头龙左背右高给高低 Wait, what? 鼠牛虎兔龙蛇马羊猴鸡狗猪 Come again? Rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, pig. Okay. The rat came first cause it hitched a ride on the ox. The tiger then beat the rabbit by a notch. The dragon came down from the sky, then sneaky snake stuck as the horse ran by. But yo, that goat was the goat. Cruised the river being pushed on the boat. The monkey rode through the route sought by the rooster. The dog came through, not at all a sore loser. And at the 12th place, last but not least, we heard the trotting of the pig who just finished their feast.
All right. Thank you, Andersasi, for giving us that wonderful wrap. I personally think that's one of the best ways that I've ever seen the story explained. So, Yuki, to start out with, I'd kind of like to ask, what zodiac animal are you? And do zodiac animals really mean that much to people in Taiwan anymore?
Oh, Brian, you cannot ask a lady what's her zodiac because, like it's easy to know her age. So it's a, culture. But yeah, talk about like zodiac. Actually, it's similar to like the star sign in Western astrology because the Chinese zodiac assign like specific personality trait, strength or weakness to each animal sign. Yeah. So sometimes like people will ask like, oh, what is a zodiac? Because they want to count like which year were you born.
So then other than using it to count which year you were born, do you think that people put any weight on which animal they are as far as those personality traits go?
Yeah. For example, like this year is dragon year. Like a lot of people want to have a dragon baby because dragons mean like royalty, like more powerful and good luck.
So Dooley, what about you? Did you know the story that we just saw from Andersasi?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that story, and I definitely haven't heard of such a unique way to explain the story of the 12-year animals. I don't think that I'll be able to memorize them based off of his rap, just listening to it one time, but I think it was very interesting and very, very cute way to kind of share the story of the 12 zodiac signs. My personal sign, I'm a snake, and I'm not too familiar with what all of the aspects of the snake are, but I hear people ask me that quite often. They'll say things like, what's your star sign? My first response would be, I'm a Scorpio. And then, oh no, I mean Chinese zodiac sign. And then I would say I'm a snake, and they're like, "Ooh, you're a snake and a Scorpio." And so I'm not really sure what strengths and weaknesses snakes and Scorpios have in common, but I guess they're both kind of more of a cunning and maybe have some kind of sneaky ways about them. I think younger people maybe are kind of straying away from that. But maybe their parents or older generations and things like that maybe are still believing it a little bit more, but I think people are becoming less and less traditional as time goes on.
So Yuki, like we talked about the dragon, some animals are considered more lucky in the Chinese zodiac and some are associated with bad luck. For example, in the past, people that were born in the year of the tiger were deemed unlucky or dangerous and not invited to weddings and other celebrations. Why was that? And do we still see that happening today?
Actually, most people aren't as like very superstitious about this anymore. But some older people still follow this tradition. But for example, like tiger, like the zodiac tiger are very powerful. That means very powerful and vicious. So people believe that people born in the year of tiger might bring this kind of vicious energy to the wedding. So they are like sometimes not invited to wedding or not allowed to be the wedding party. For example, like you cannot be the bridesmaid or best man if you zodiac is tiger.
If you've ever seen a Hollywood movie that takes place in Chinatown, you've probably seen the dragon and lion dances. These dances can be performed on other important occasions, but are often associated with the Lunar New Year. TaiwanPlus's Sandy Chi and Reese Ayers take a look at this traditional performance.
So, Sandy, what's going on over here?
Well, we are in Keelung now, and also it's just located northeast of Taipei. And since it's the year of the dragon, we'll meet up with Master Lu's Dragon and Lion dance troupe to take a look at what it takes to do the dance.
The rippling and twisting dragon dance is typically performed by a team of 9 people. That's a lucky number in the Chinese-speaking world, with one additional performer controlling the pearl. The pearl represents wisdom, and the dragon will chase it throughout the performance.
事实上，舞龙它龙啊，这个是帝王的象征嘛，代表很有代表这个高高在上了。
Dragon dances date back over 2,000 years, all the way to China's Han Dynasty. They were performed during times of drought. That's because in Chinese folklore, the dragon is associated not with fire, but with water. Nowadays, the dance is performed at festivals in the hope of encouraging fortune and prosperity.
所以说，一般在庙会人家看到龙的话，基本上来讲人家一些信徒都会膜拜所以说基本上它里面的一个精髓第一个让促进大家的一个团结力以及祥和。
As Sandy and I quickly discovered, it's not only a physically demanding form of performance art, but it also requires a lot of teamwork and determination. It's no simple task expressing the true essence of the dragon dance.
实际上舞龙是很不好教的，因为它人多，你差一个就不困难度就有。它的架构的确是一个很深根蒂固它可以结合什么呢？可以结合每一个人的一个团结力。
Master Lu's performers practice for 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, rain or shine, to perfect a physically demanding and precisely choreographed routine.
你真正在训练的时候，可能一个动作，一个人他可能忘记失误了，导致说这个动作我们再重来学一次，会一直这样子重复这样子。
Master Lu and his troupe's dedication to the art of dragon dancing is clear, through the time and effort they put into becoming internationally celebrated performers.
Alright, so like we just saw, dragon and lion dances are pretty common during the Lunar New Year, and earlier Dooley mentioned the spring end-of-year banquets that I know both Yuki and Dooley, you've both hosted these kinds of events, the Weiya and Chunjiu that we have here in Taiwan. So I wanted to ask, other than dragon and lion dances, what kinds of performances have you seen at these year-end banquets, Dooley?
Because my company actually works with different companies to organize their year-end events and organize the performances. We've seen so many interesting things. A lot of times people think that, they just have, bands or dancers, but they have so many different options, especially these days, people doing performances of all different types. Recently, we've seen an upsurge in people actually inviting like go-go boys or like cheerleader dancers, but also interesting things like magicians and comedians and contortionists and acrobats and Chinese instruments, more traditional Chinese instrument type of bands and things like that. Orchestras, jazz groups, of course, pop singer bands and things like that. They have so many different options that are available for people. And the main thing is that the hope would be that the people who come to the end of year events or the spring events just can really just get a chance to let down their hair and have a good time and enjoy the atmosphere that the New Year's event brings.
Great. And like I said, Yuki, you've also been involved in these kinds of events. Can you tell me a little bit, other than these performances, what exactly happens at these spring banquets?
So we have Weiya and Chunjiu. So Weiya is the year-end banquet. It's typical held at the end of lunar year, often during like last month of the lunar calendar. And we have another banquet called Chunjiu. Chunjiu is also called like spring banquet. It's a festive gathering held on the eve of the Lunar New Year or during the first few days of New Year. So actually it's both served as a way for employee to express their gratitude to their employee for their hard work throughout the year. And it's an opportunity for the college to bond and celebrate their achievement together. And actually normally include a great feast, entertainment, like Dooley say, and also the distribution of year-end bonus and gift or lucky draw.
So Dooley, you mentioned that the atmosphere at these Weiya and Chunjiu are special and that people try to kind of enjoy it and let their hair down a little bit. Can you tell us maybe some experiences you've seen of people enjoying themselves at a Weiya that's maybe different from how they usually act in the office?
Well, it seems to me like because I've been to so many year events and so many spring event parties, things like that, you get to see that the employees also have a chance to kind of let their hair down to kind of be themselves, but also they get to enjoy and watch maybe their supervisors and the bosses also get a chance to let their hair down and kind of just relax and just kind of see them as more people instead of just as their bosses. A lot of times at these year events, you'll see that the supervisors will get together and do different kind of cosplay or dances or things like that, where they can just show that they are actually people also.
Right, and now before we all sit down to eat and drink with our colleagues and friends, we have to make sure that the next zodiac animal is going to bring us good fortune. Intuitively, you would think that the year of your sign would be lucky for you. And while it can be, did you know that you need to do things that are special to ensure luck and prosperity in the year ahead? This year, if you're a dragon, dog, rabbit, ox, or ram, you have to do some special rituals. One of those rituals is called An Tai Sui, or appeasing the Tai Sui, the 60 gods who take turns watching over the universe for 1 year at a time. TaiwanPlus reporters Yu Huang and Harel Hughes went to Songshan Ciyou Temple to learn about appeasing the gods for the coming year.
Luan is here to pray for a smooth year, something many people do before the Lunar New Year holiday. In Taoism, people born under the current year's zodiac sign, as well as 3 other signs, could face 12 months of bad luck. That is, unless they appease Tai Sui, the deities that oversee their fate. Luan was born in the year of dog, one of the 4 signs facing a year of bad luck. She has to fill out her name, address, and birthday for Tai Sui, and then the temple will light up her name tag in a blessing ceremony.
对，通常我们家就是全家人会一起点。那如果没犯太岁，就可能会点一个光明灯啊。我也是第一次自己做这件事，蛮有趣的。
The temple then gives Luan a wallet, receipt, and an amulet that will protect her from Tai Sui for the next year. She's just one of many people here, hoping to ward off bad luck. This year, the temple is expecting over 70,000 applications. Before the new year, the temple will hold a ceremony to present names to Tai Sui and ask for blessings. The Tai Sui deities are kept here, in the Tai Sui Hall. There are 60 of them in total, as the lunar calendar is a 60-year cycle, and every year has its own deity. Pacifying Tai Sui is a long-standing custom, so popular that some temples even offer online ceremonies. But this temple has kept things traditional.
上网线上点灯油，但人没去拜拜有什么效益？我是觉得这方便是方便，没有效果。要来这边点个香祈拜拜才知道啊，跟妈祖讲，哎呀，我某某人来这边求你什么，这才有道理啊。
So, Yuki, have you ever appeased or pacified the Tai Sui before? And what other kinds of religious things do you generally do around the Lunar New Year?
Yeah, of course. So if the year where my animal has to do the ceremony, I would do it. But like the video say, every year I will go to the temple to lighting a tiny light. Not only a tiny light, they have a lot of different light, like light for your relationship or for health, like anything. You just pay to around 600 NT dollar, and you can have a little tiny light in the temple.
And then aside from that, what other religious things do you do for Lunar New Year? Other than going to the temple, what kinds of things do you do maybe at home with your family?
Yeah, so because we have a long holiday like during Lunar New Year, so I will spend time with my family, and also I love to go to my friend's house because it's sometimes my friend will organize a board game or gambling party on their like place. So they will invite a lot of friends to join the game. Like some people will like gamble some money, like because gambling in Taiwan is illegal. But during the Lunar New Year, like people have time to gather together, and then also gambling means if you won some money, that means you will have a good luck in over like a year. So I like to gamble or playing board game with my friend.
Okay, all right. And then, Dooley, what about you? Have you ever done this kind of anti-sway thing, or what kinds of things do you do to get ready for the new year?
Well, me personally, I'm not very religious, so I don't do things like the anti-sway. But I know there are a lot of the staff, especially like my agent now. His family is more traditional, and although he's not traditional, his mother and his father are very traditional. So each year they will make sure, instead of him going to the temple to anti-sway, his parents will do that for him. So I think that happens a lot more now with the way times are. Maybe they have their parents do it for them if they're not so religious, or maybe their parents will choose to do it for them regardless of their own personal opinion or beliefs. But as far as what I do is to get ready for the Chinese New Year, I'm less of a traditionalist, but there are still some things that I do. And one of the main things I do is I make sure before Chinese New Year, I will get my house, get a deep cleaning done on my house. So usually I'll hire someone to come in and make sure they do all the dusting, the mopping of the floors, cleaning, reorganizing the refrigerator, getting everything nice and clean. So that way, during Chinese New Year, the house is good. After Chinese New Year, it's kind of like a fresh start to the new year to make sure that I'm going to have a lot of prosperity and luck.
I'd like to first ask Yuki, what do you think is your personal favorite part of the Lunar New Year? What is the thing that you look forward to every year?
The best part of Lunar New Year is getting the red envelope from your family, right? People love to get the red envelope. But even now, like some family culture, if you're not married yet, you still can get the red envelope from your family. So right now, like my parents still give me some red envelope. Like I will keep it and also put in my band book, because people say like if you get a red envelope, it's mean like you can receive the luck from other people, and you can put in your band book, and that's mean your band account will get more money.
Mm-hmm. I have a very different experience from Yuki. I think my favorite part about Chinese New Year is actually having the 2 weeks vacation, because my company, we're so busy before the end of the year with Christmas parties and year-end events, and then so busy after with the spring parties, things like that, that those 10 or 12 days that we have off for Chinese New Year, I try to get away from Taiwan, especially given that anytime that I'm in Taiwan during Chinese New Year's, I end up giving away so many red envelopes. It's me giving them away to everybody. Everywhere I go, I have to give somebody a little red envelope. That's kind of like a tip. Or if you see some kids, you have to have a stack of red envelopes with, 100 NT or something in there, and they're just giving it away. So during Chinese New Year, my main thing is to get off this island and go somewhere and just relax, so that when we get back after Chinese New Year, we can make it through the rest of the year.
Oh, you are the giver, like I'm the receiver.
Yeah.
The last question I want to ask you, Dooley, is what part of Lunar New Year do you feel would be best to take back to the States and share with your family? I know that you're going back for this Lunar New Year, so do you have any plans to share the holiday with your family there?
Well, this year I do have some special plans. My nieces now are getting a bit older. They're 5 and 8 and 12 and 13. So this year I want to make sure I take a piece of the Chinese New Year back with them. So I purchased a few little chunlian, the little red things that you can hang over your door, and lots of little red envelopes with the dragon on them. Also, the little games you can play. It's like a little box, and it has maybe 24 little different boxes, and they can spend each day and poke a hole and take out one little toy or something like that. And also, I bought several different lottery tickets from Taiwan that have the different dragon symbols and things like that on them for this year. And so this year, when I go back to America, I'm planning to have a Chinese New Year party with my nieces and my nephews, and just kind of let them experience some of the different things that happen here in Taiwan, and kind of explain to them, because they all know I live in Taiwan, and they all know, have heard about Chinese New Year, but they don't really have any cultural references or what it's like. So I want to make sure this year I kind of just share a little piece of that with them and have a little Chinese New Year party. Maybe I'll cook some dumplings or something special like that for them to try and eat. But the main thing is I just want to let them understand that Chinese New Year is something that's different from America, and just enjoy some of the different games and activities we can play. And maybe someday, if they're lucky, they'll be able to save enough money and come to Taiwan and visit and get an experience of Chinese New Year for themselves.
That sounds great. So, Yuki, Dooley just mentioned the 春联 or spring couplets. What kinds of things do we generally write on the spring couplets, and where do we put those?
People write down some like good saying and put them in their door, because people believe that putting out this saying will help brings good luck back to you and your family in the coming year. So why we put that on the door? Because we also have a god called Mensen, door god. So door god will bring the good luck to your house.
Thank you so much, Yuki Hsu here in Taipei and Dooley Candler in Kaohsiung for joining us and talking about the Lunar New Year. And for our viewers everywhere, it's been good to have your company. We hope the Year of the Dragon will bring you good health and fortune. 好运龙中来. If you've enjoyed today's episode or have anything you'd like to add to the dialogue, join the conversation on our social media. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay connected.